Hello everyone, hope you're all well. I wanted to continue on my legend series, and today I wanted to give one of Australia's greatest legends, the legendary Ian Chappell. I had already given his brother's video, Greg Chappell, and I had mentioned that there were three brothers, Ian Chappell, Greg Chappell, and Trevor Chappell. Ian Chappell's grandfather also captained the Australian team, and his brother Greg Chappell and Ian Chappell. He was born 26th September 1943 in South Australia. That is where he played his Sheffield Shield matches for South Australia. He also played a season for Lancashire. And he played 75 test matches and he scored 5,345 runs at an average of 42.42. And he scored 14 hundreds and his highest score was 196. He also took more than 100 catches in test matches. He was the fourth player in cricket history to take more than 100 test catches. He also took 20 wickets in his test career. And in first class cricket, he has scored almost 20,000 runs with 59 hundreds. And he has taken 176 wickets in first class cricket as well. And Ian Chappell is regarded as the person behind the force behind Australia's professionalization in the 1970s. Obviously, he played at an era where the cricket was really strong. The West Indian team was very strong in the 70s. Indian team had a very strong team also with the spin bowlers. The English team was also strong. So he probably played in the era where cricket was at its hardest. And he captained Australia from 1971 to 75. That 4 5 years he was the captain of Australia. And he turned Australia into a real supreme force. And even the sledging, we all know about the sledging with the Australian cricket. The sledging also started with his captaincy tenure, and he did play the game hard, and he turned Australia into a very aggressive team. He's the main force behind Australia becoming a very aggressive team, which helps their way of playing cricket, and it gives them a lot of success. So it's something that is credited to Ian Chappell. And something worthy of noting here is that Shane Warne had said many times that the biggest influence of his career was Ian Chappell. So he has said that many times. So Shane Warne found Ian Chappell a very huge inspiration in his career and someone who influenced his cricket a lot, even though they never played together in a test match. So that is something that we should credit Ian Chappell for. And in that 1969, 69, 68, 69 tour of West Indies, when West Indies toured Australia, he scored 500s. He scored 188 not out, 180, 117, 123, and 165. All 500s against the West Indies, and two of them came in the test matches as well. And in the test series, he scored 548 runs at an average of around 63 or 64. And against India in 1969, when he toured India with Australia, he scored 138 at Delhi, and he also scored a 99 at Calcutta, proving that he was very good against fast and spin. And that gave him a lot of praise from Australia's then captain Bill Lawry, who said that Ian Chappell was probably the most complete batsman of that time because he played spin and he played fast equally well. And as a batsman, he had a very sound defense, and he was very good with the drives and the square cuts, and he was also a good driver of the back foot. And once actually, Wisden lauded him for his back foot play and also rated him as the most difficult Australian batsman to dismiss to get out. So that is a big compliment from Wisden. That's how sound his defense was. He was very difficult to get out. But his trademark shot was the hook shot. He was very good on the hook shots. And he always felt that if he saw a short ball, it should give him 4 runs with the hook shot. So he's very strong of the hook shots. That was his trademark shot. And he also played in that World 11 in 1970, obviously with the Kerry Packer and all the issues in South Africa, the Kerry Packer series. And there was a World Rebel Tours, a lot of things happened in those times. And Sir Garfield Sobers led the rest of the world tour to Australia, and Australia played against the rest of the world. I mean, my video for Barry Richards, I had written about Barry Richards scoring runs against the rest of the world team. And against the rest of the world team, Ian Chappell scored four centuries, and he scored 634 runs at an average of 79 runs point something. So that is indeed a great achievement. I mean, playing against the rest of the world. I mean, you play. I mean, those Test series were definitely stronger than the normal Test series, which is already strong in those times. But the rest of the world 11, you are playing against the best fast bowlers of all the countries together. So, I mean, that four centuries Ian Chappell scored in that series against the rest of the 11 world, rest of the world with an average of 76. That is stunning because that is the acid test. I mean, playing against the rest of the world 11. And Ian Chappell, he has had a lot of big partnerships with his brother Greg Chappell. They have put on many big important runs for Australia together. But the most famous was their 201 run partnership versus England at Oval in the last test in England when Greg Chappell and Ian Chappell both scored centuries in the same innings. And that was the first time ever that two brothers had scored a century in to scored a century in the same innings of a test match. So that was the first time ever that was happening in the history of cricket. And after retirement, obviously, Ian Chappell served as a cricket journalist and also as a cricket commentator. A lot of people will know Ian Chappell from his commentary days, especially late 80s, early 90s, in the 90s with Jeffrey Boycott, Tony Craig, all of them, Sunil Gavaskar, Michael Holding. Ian Chappell was one of the biggest commentators of the game. And he was a typical Australian as a player as well, very hard, very tough person, but very honest as well. And he said things like he saw. He never held back his words. If there was something to criticize, he would definitely criticize it, and if there was a credit due, he would always give that as well. Typical Australian behavior. And I loved hearing Ian Chappell in the commentary box. He always was excellent with his commentary, and he was very sharp with the cricket. He had a sharp cricket brain, and he was always an aggressive kind of player, and his mindset was also aggressive. He always believed in captains being aggressive and trying to take hold of the match, and probably that is one reason why Shane Warne holds Ian Chappell so highly in his um mind, because yeah, Shane Warne is also someone who wanted to play the cricket aggressive, who always played aggressive, and who always believed that you can win from any position, and he always backed in going for the win rather than playing a negative, conservative cricket. Ian Chappell was the same. So no wonder there is a good relationship between Ian Chappell and Shane Warne, and Shane Warne saying that he's the biggest influence on his career. It's probably the way, the attitude that Ian Chappell had and he instilled into the Australian team that has stuck with the Australian team after that. And Ian Chappell also captained and played at a time where Dennis Lillee and Jeff Thompson were creating havoc as fast bowlers. So he had a very good team at his disposal as well. So when he had Dennis Lillee and Jeff Thompson, he definitely had the armory. He had the fast bowlers to back his thoughts, and he believed in them being aggressive and going hard at the batsman and playing hard cricket. Obviously, he had a team like that. So a lot of credit should go to Ian Chappell for turning Australia into a more professional team, a more aggressive team, a team that was dying hard to win, and that is one of the greatest contributions of Ian Chappell to Australian cricket. And as like I said, he was from South Australia. He also played for Lancashire, and he was the fourth player I mentioned, the fourth player ever to take more than 100 wickets. He was an excellent batsman, and he was an excellent fielder at the slips as well. And he used to bowl spin, but at Test level he didn't really bowl. But at first class cricket, he used to get wickets with his spin. And he was considered in the 70s as probably the most complete batsman. I mean, Ian Chappell will always go down as one of the great cricket legends of Australia. Obviously, with the Greg Chappell as well. The Chappell surname is so famous in Australia. I mean, they have done so much for Australian cricket. And he was, like I said, very solid batsman with solid defense and all the shots, and he was equally good against fast bowlers and spin bowlers. So he was a very complete batsman and a very good captain, aggressive captain as well. So that is my video on Ian Chappell. I hope you have relived some of your moments, and you can check YouTube for some of his videos. Definitely, Australia's one of Australia's greatest legends and one of the greatest batsmen to have played this game of cricket, and one of the greatest, most aggressive captains to have played this game. Thank you, everyone. Take care. God bless you.